Welcome to Tri-Valley Sports Final, your program for the best in local sports action. On this week's show, the West Coast Jamboree Girls Basketball Tournament takes center stage. Ariana Chacon is outstanding as the Dublin girls take on Casumnes Oaks. Kayla Carroll lights it up as the Granada Matadors square off against Sacramento Adventist. And Sophia Mahmood leads the way as the Livermore Cowboys battle the Montgomery Vikings. All that plus Emerald Turlock girls basketball, Livermore Heritage girls soccer, and much more right here on Tri-Valley Sports Final. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. I'm Ian Bartholomew. On this week's show, we'll have girls basketball from the 24th Annual West Coast Jamboree. We'll see Dublin, Livermore, Granada, and Emerald High Schools all in action. We'll also have girls soccer as Livermore squares off against Heritage. But to get us started with hoops, it's my co-host, Tim Sabrani.
Great. Thank you, Ian. And it's been a good start for the Livermore girls basketball team. Cowboys have already equaled last season's win total of 9. And recently, the Cowboys look to continue their winning ways as they hosted Montgomery of Santa Rosa in the turquoise division of the West Coast Jamboree. And there we see Livermore breaking the huddle. And we'll get things started right away. Jules McCaffrey knocking down the jumper. And not to be outdone, here's Sophia Mahmood on the coast-to-coast layup, giving Livermore the early edge. Montgomery, though, would answer back. There you see Morella Cortez. Livermore, Sophia Mahmood responding, driving to the bucket. Gets the layup down in traffic. Now we see the Cowboys defense. Look at that block, Peyton Hansen. And if she would get the block, then she'd end up getting the rebound, helping lead the Cowboys in transition. April Diaz then hits the jumper. That would be of the three-point variety, putting Livermore on top. And then here we see Villa Diaz again. Another three-pointer, but not the only one that can shoot from distance. This time it's Sophia Mahmood pulling up. She hits the three-pointer. Livermore up 16-11 after the first quarter. Mahmood 13 points on the night. Here Cowboys break the huddle between quarters, and Jules McCaffrey, she'd follow up on her own miss with the putback. And then this time we see it's Genevieve Bagakis. She grabs the rebound and hits the mid-range jumper. And then Livermore again showing the defense. April Villa-Diaz with the steal. She would drive for the layup, 2 of her 13 points right there. This time we see Villa-Diaz in transition to Bagakis. Drives, her shot doesn't fall, but Grace Zamora right there with the putback. And Livermore would go on to win. You see it there, Sophia Mahmood, April Villa-Diaz, each scoring 13 points. Cowboys earned the win. They finished with a record of 2-1 in the Jamboree, losing only to Antioch in the finals. They currently have an overall record of 9-10, so a successful tournament overall and a successful start to their season.
Yeah, very successful. Especially when you figure they didn't play 3 years ago. They didn't have a team. They took a year off, came back and they won 3 games the next year. Then they won 9 games last year, and then already having 9 games this year.
Yeah, it's a pretty remarkable turnaround from not having a varsity program all the way to where you're on the verge of playoff contention, and really nice start for them.
Yeah, and to have some winnable games too coming up. It's going to do it for Livermore. Up next, we're going to see the Red Hot Dublin Gales in action as they face Casumnes Oaks in the Pearl Division of the West Coast Jamboree. Plus, a little later, we'll see Emerald High School take on Turlock. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. The Dublin girls basketball team's on a roll. The Gales are currently ranked 3rd in the North Coast Section Division 1 and 9th in the state, according to Max Preps. Recently, Dublin looked to keep the momentum going as they faced another highly regarded team, the state's 20th ranked Division 1 team, Casumnes Oaks of Elk Grove. And we go out to Dublin. Gales head coach Jose Alvarez and his team break the huddle. This one would go right down to the wire, pick it up in the first half. Taylor Sullivan to Ariana Chacon for the basket and foul. 3-point play. She would have a big night. Moments later, Chacon comes up with a steal. She drives in for the layup. At this point, the Gales lead 21-17. Casumnes answers. Freshman Audrey Magallanes scores on the banker. Then she dishes to junior Skylar Williams for 3. Wolfpack retake the lead 23-21. Dublin responds. Chacon passes to Michaela Beltran, who drives in for the floater. She finished with 6 points. More Casumnes. Sophia Mendenhall gives to Haitlin Subahana for 3. Back and forth we go. Gaia Lembo to Sienna Kwan, over to Chacon, who drills a 3. Just before the half, though, Magallanes passes to Mendenhall for 3. She had 10 points. At the break, the Wolfpack lead 31-26. Coach Alvarez talks to his team before the start of the third quarter, and the Gales come out quickly. Kwan ahead to Chacon, who gives to Addison Liamidi for 3. It's no good, but Gaia Lembo grabs the rebound and puts it in. Now Lembo dribbles and spots a wide open Aya Trotter underneath for 2 of her 11. Nice pass by Lembo. Wolfpack come right back. Magallanes out to Williams for a 3. Casumnes grabs a 37-32 lead. Dublin, though, responds as Beltran drives and scores. Gales retake the lead 39-37. Now Chacon gives to Lembo for 2 of her 7 points. Wolfpack come right back, though. Subahano to Williams for the jumper. She had 11. Now Subahano takes it herself. She drills a 3. She finished with 15. Casumnes leads 42-41. Moments later, Magallanes steals and drives in for the layup. She had 9 points. With less than 5 minutes left, the lead is 3. But the Gales finish strong. Chacon feeds Addison Liamidi for 3. That ties the game at 44. Next possession. Chacon, the senior, pulls up for 3. It's in and out. Jessica Verdier, though, pulls down the rebound and gives to Liamidi for another clutch 3. She finished with 9 points. Gales regain the lead 47-44. And Chacon seals it at the line. She had 14 points. Dublin goes on to defeat Casumnes Oaks 53-51. Ariana Chacon leads a balanced attack as the Gales rally for the win. Dublin would go on to drop a 59-57 decision to Acalanes in the Pearl Division Finals, but they'd come right back and win a rematch at Acalanes a week later, defeating the Dons in overtime 56-53. Gales are now riding a 5-game winning streak, and they're playing really well.
Yeah, they're playing really well. I mean, avenging the loss to Acalanes by coming back with the win. But in this game, when we saw the highlights, Liamidi, those 2 big three-pointers that she got in the fourth quarter were absolutely huge, and just really about a balanced team. A lot of people making key contributions, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they are.
We're going to go from Dublin High School now across town to Emerald High School as they host Turlock in the finals of the West Coast Jamboree's Emerald Division. And there you see head coach Matt Janish. This is the first year of Emerald having a varsity team. Only freshmen, sophomores, and juniors at the school. We pick up that action right there. Iman Walai with the layup. And here we see Turlock answering back. Precious Gonzalez with the bucket. Next we see Nadia Mayotte, the drive and the score. She's ultimately fouled. But this would be a back and forth game throughout. Here we see a nice steal by Isha Venkat. She would go coast to coast, lay it in for the layup. Then Venkat pull-up jumper is good. And one more time, extending their lead. Good ball movement out to the perimeter, and this time it would be Raina Prasher with the 3-pointer, and Emerald at this point up 23-17 at the half. And breaking the huddle for the second half, hoping to bring home their first tournament title. But Turlock would have a big second half. Velez Irasava knocking down the jumper there. Here we see Riley Mendez, inbound pass. She would score 2 of her 8 points. And then Nadia Mayotte would drive, hit the banker, And just like that, we're all tied at 24 apiece. Emerald regaining the lead though. Pranathi Nara, Yana Bhatia knocking down the 3. We see it again, this time in transition. Nara Yana Bhatia, the pass ahead. Venkat, step back, jumper is good. Teammates like that. And then she does it again on the defensive end. Narayana Bhatia with the steal and the drive in for the layup. But Turlock would end up getting control of this one late. Here we see the rebound, Bella Moran. She would end up going coast to coast. She would be fouled, and ultimately with the 3-point play, helping to put this one away for Turlock as they go on to win. You see the final there. Velez Irisava leading the way though for the Bulldogs, capturing the Emerald Division, but still a great job by Emerald advancing all the way to the finals.
Yeah, I had a couple of good wins before this. They beat Delta 48-3, and then they beat Petaluma by 7 points. So some pretty good victories, and they're getting better and better. And they really hustle out there, and they shoot well.
They hustle, they shoot well, they're well coached. And again, not having seniors puts them obviously at a huge competitive disadvantage playing at the varsity level. I expect them only to get better and more competitive as the years go.
And that's going to do it for Emerald. Up next, we'll have more West Coast Jamboree action as Granada takes on Sacramento Adventist in the Ivory Division. Plus, a little later, we'll see the Livermore girls soccer team square off against Heritage. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. After narrowly missing qualifying for the North Coast Section playoffs last season, the Granada girls basketball team has their sights set on this year's postseason. The Matadors returned several of their top players, including seniors Kayla Carroll and Katie Vale. Recently, Granada looked to pick up a victory as they hosted Sacramento Adventist in the Ivory Division of the West Coast Jamboree. We go out to Granada. Head coach Chris Haddon getting his team ready to go. Pick it up in the first quarter. Kayla Carroll passes to Madison Akeda for 3. After 1, Granada leads 14-7. Second quarter is more of the same. Maddie Bittman to Katie Vale, underneath to Sophia Lara. Now the Matadors pressure the ball. Addison Smith comes up with a steal. She goes coast to coast. That extends the lead to 8. The Capitals battle back. Kyla Frederick scores underneath. She had 14 points. That cuts the lead to 4. But late in the second quarter, Granada goes on another run. Kayla Carroll drills a 3-pointer. At the break, Matadors lead 27-20. Granada huddles to start the third quarter, and they'd continue to stay hot. Kayla Carroll to Maddie Bittman, who feeds Addison Smith. Now the softball star Bittman gives to the EBAL Flag Football Offensive Player of the Year, Katie Vale, who scores. Matadors continue to push it up court. Smith to Sophia Lara. Ahead to Vale for the layup. The Capitals, though, continue to battle. Gwen Rosich for 2 of her 20. But Granada comes right back. Lara to Carroll for 3. Matadors extend their lead to 37-22. Now, Vale passes to Bittman, over to Lara for the baseline jumper. And this time, Addison Smith dribbles and shoots, no good, but Shayna Stewart is there to grab the rebound and lay it in. That combination will get on the board again moments later. Stewart to Smith, who dribbles behind the line and nails the 3. And we close with Jocelyn Hernandez's long pass ahead to Stewart. She dishes to Akeda. Granada goes on to defeat Sacramento Adventist 69-35. Matadors outscore the Capitals 42-15 in the second half as they cruise to the win. Granada got hot on offense, and they really clamped down on defense. Got a lot of points, transition points, based on that defense.
Yeah, that's beyond hot when you outscore a team by 27
Yeah.
points in the second half. This was a tight ball game. And Granada really blew it open. Great defense, as you said, great transition, and a good way to get a little momentum heading into the league. One other local team taking part in the Jamboree was Amador Valley. They played in the Quartz Division at Alhambra High School. Did very well, finished with a record of 2-1. Only lost a 1-point decision to Fortuna in the second game. So they're currently 8-8 overall, and another team that's right there in terms of the balance of our local teams.
Yeah, and Megan Huang's doing really well. She's a senior now, averaging about 14 a game for the Dons, and they're a much improved team as well.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to covering them and all of our local teams as we move forward. But we're going to pivot now from basketball, go to girls soccer. Livermore Cowboys hosting the Heritage Patriots. And there you see head coach Keith Miller looking on. And early scoring opportunity for the Cowboys. Ella Abbey, but the defense would end up kicking that one out. And then Heritage, we get on the board right here with the goal. And the Patriots early 1-0 lead, but Livermore answer right back. Shelley Souza, Francesca Romagna following it up, and there it is. And just like that, only a freshman. And there they are celebrating. Cowboys even things up at 1. And then you see some stellar defense right there as Genevieve Lundberg put the pressure on the ball, and Isabella Hansen cleared it. Now we see Zoe Wee, look at this. Diving save and averting the scoring threat there. And then this would be another one. This time it would be their defender who blocks it. And then here we see the goalie corralling the save. So some excellent job there by Livermore. Another scoring chance just over the goal. So Livermore, a couple chances late, but ultimately this one would end up in a tie. And there you see the teams after the game shaking hands, and a tight one, but Livermore ends up in a tie. You see the numbers there. The Cowboys currently 5-5-3, and they have games coming up against Foothill and California. This one's so close. They gave up the unfortunate own goal, and then they had some great defensive. You got your defenders making saves with their own body.
Yeah, Ashley Browning with a huge save there, deflecting that ball, and then Weed came back with the save. That was huge.
And then they had some chances late, so could have been a win, but also could have gone the other way if they didn't get a couple of those clutch saves. So nice job there pulling out the tie. We'll be back with more, including our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athletes of the Week, right after these messages, so please stay with us.
Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. Our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athletes of the Week are Livermore boys basketball player Amari Chandler and Foothill girls volleyball player Paige Nelson. Amari helped lead the Cowboys to one of their biggest wins in decades as he scored 27 points in a win against Amador, helping Livermore snap a 12-year, 100-plus loss EBAL losing streak. Other big games this year for Amari include 35 points in a win against Castro Valley and 22 points and 16 rebounds in a victory against Sacred Heart Cathedral. Paige, meanwhile, cemented her name among Foothill's all-time volleyball greats as she was selected All-EBAL for the second straight year. This season, she led the 25-win Falcons with 447 kills and 29 blocks. She was also second on the team in digs and third in aces and assists. For their excellence in local athletics, Livermore's Amari Chandler and Foothill's Paige Nelson are our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athletes of the Week. Congratulations to them, and what a win by Livermore to snap that streak.
You know, it's one of the most exciting stories, I think, of the year so far in the Tri-Valley sports. I mean, obviously the East Bay Athletic League, so stacked for so many years. But Livermore this year, not only with Chandler, but you see Dylan Wary.
Dylan Wary having a huge year,
and the contributions he's making, and just they're such a well-rounded team. They're well-coached. To see the passion of those fans and to get a win against a highly touted Amador Valley team, I can't think of a better way for them to be able to break that record, to be able to do that against such a signature win against a quality opponent. We might see all 10 boys basketball teams in the East Bay Athletic League potentially make NCS. Wow. That would be unheard of.
That really would be amazing. And congratulations to the Cowboys and Coach Mike Tripp. And on our next show, we'll have boys soccer, a big early season EBAL clash between a team off to a great start, the Amador Valley Dons, and last year's North Coast Section Division II runner-up, Granada. Very good competitive game there and some good teams.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Granada did last year. You know, Amador Valley, you know, they've always had the legacy program. Dublin, we're seeing Dublin boys soccer this year, very competitive. So again, another evenly matched league, just like we talk about boys basketball, boys soccer as well.
And we're also going to have some boys basketball as Dublin travels to Tom Hansen Gym in Pleasanton to face the Foothill Falcons. Always a close game between those two teams.
Yeah, Foothill plays tough, and Dublin has a tough time historically in that gym. So look forward to watching that one.
And we'll also see the Amador Valley Dons ranked among the state's top teams in the preseason, hosting the always tough Granada Matadors. Matadors looking to have a big season this year.
Well, you know, look at Granada. I mean, Coach Q built that program up, took last year off. Now he's back. Now they're right there among the elite. Amador, you know, coming off the loss to Livermore, you know, they're going to be hungry and motivated. So that is going to be another one, a good competitive battle.
And Brandon Hahn, of course, off to a great start for Granada.
Yeah,
playing very well inside.
Every game is a slugfest in that league.
Yep. And that's going to do it for this edition of Tri-Valley Sports Final. Tim Sabrani, me and Bartholomew, thanks for watching. See you next week.